Hi guys, Fuck Gaming here and welcome to the FINN in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Today's ultimate weapon guide will focus on the chainsaw version of the FINN for Warzone. I will show you all the weapon stats, the best loadout, the best bullet patterns, and I will show you the actual time to kill versus distance calculation so that we can figure out the absolute best attachments to turn this weapon into a beast for Call of Duty Warzone. Welcome to the FINN Chainsaw Massacre. Let's first check out the weapon stats so that we can see what the FINN is capable of. The standard magazine comes with 75 bullets, because it's an LMG after all, but as you know, this can be improved to 100 NATO bullets or 75 or 100 CT bullets. I can tell you already that none of those make sense for what we're trying to achieve, and I will prove it to you. If you compare the standard magazine with the 75 CT bullets, then we can see an advantage of 8 milliseconds on the ADS time for the CT, but it comes at the cost of a slower bullet velocity of 432 meters per second versus 648 meters per second. The question is, which benefit outweighs the other? The ADS time gain for the CT or the bullet velocity for the standard magazine? Imagine that you're shooting at an enemy who is standing 16 meters away from you. If you include everything, like distance, rate of fire, damage, bullet velocity and a few other stats, then we end up with a time to kill for the standard magazine of 0.505 seconds versus 0.517 seconds for the CT bullets. A difference of 12 milliseconds, but the ADS time gain of the CT bullets was only 8 milliseconds, so we can clearly see who the winner is, and this difference only gets bigger as the distance increases. So no, the CT bullets do not make any sense. This already covers one important aspect of our loadout and we only just got started. Oh yeah guys, if you like information like this, then please click on that subscribe button, because it's only going to get better from here on out. The reload time is, well, slow, but it's pretty standard for light machine guns with 7.103 seconds. Sleight of hand will improve your reload time to 5.671 seconds, which is pretty nice. I will show you the best loadout later in the video so that you know if you should be using sleight of hand or not. The FINN needs exactly 304 milliseconds to ADS, but since we're going to focus on the FINN Chainsaw Massacre, so we're going to use the XRK Chainsaw, we're looking at an ADS time of 391 milliseconds. The rate of fire of the FINN is nothing special, with 640 rounds per minute, but it does have a few extra special barrels, which can improve the rate of fire to an incredible 1000 rounds per minute. These adverse barrels are the key to success with the FINN, because they lower the time to kill with 83 milliseconds for head and chest shots and 90 milliseconds for stomach and limb shots. Strangely enough, the adverse barrels have a negative effect on the damage output, which doesn't really make sense, but hey, that's the way it is. The FINN has two different damage pairs. Headshots and chest shots have the same damage output and time to kill, and stomach and limb shots also have the same damage output and time to kill, so it's pretty easy to compare. For head and chest shots, you will cause 28 damage per bullet, which means that you will need 480 milliseconds to kill. You will cause 22 damage points to stomach and limbs with one bullet, so it will take you 660 milliseconds to kill. There is a catch here, and this is also valid for a few other LMGs, and that catch is the trigger delay of 67 milliseconds. So, when you press your trigger button on your controller or mouse, the game will delay the shot with an additional 67 milliseconds on top of the normal delay that everybody encounters. And this is something that you have to be aware of. One way to semi-counter this is to pre-fire, but this is not always an option. On top of that, there is a sprint to fire delay of 331 milliseconds. This is something that all other SMGs also suffer from, and most of them have the same sprint to fire delay. The first damage drop-off point for the FINN adverse occurs at 20.5 meters. The stomach and limb time to kill stays exactly the same, but the head and chest shot time to kill changes to 540 milliseconds. So it isn't really a game-changing drop-off point. The other one is more important, the one at 36.5 meters. From here on out, you will need 660 milliseconds to kill for headshots and chest shots, and 840 for stomach and limb shots. I know that I haven't shared all the stats yet. That was done on purpose, because I will cover those together with the loadout so that you can clearly see which attachments are best for this version of the FINN. So let's cover the loadout. It all starts with the XRK Chainsaw, which is the only thing we're now forced to use on our chainsaw FINN. The biggest downside of the stock is the penalty on the ADS time of 87 milliseconds, which is quite a lot. But in return, we get to play with the chainsaw, which is absolutely great. And we get an improved sprint to fire speed of 207 milliseconds instead of the 331 milliseconds we had before, so 124 milliseconds better. And we also get a better movement speed of 282.1 meters per minute instead of 277.9, an increase of 4.2 meters per minute. A better ADS movement speed of 154.6 versus 124.9, an increase of 29.7 meters per minute, and a slightly better sprint speed of 381 versus 375.2, an increase of 5.8 meters per minute. All of this means that we have to focus on improving our time to kill, which means that we mainly have to focus on improving the ADS time, because there lies the biggest drawback of the chainsaw fin. If you do not ADS, then your bullets will end up all over the place. If you remember the scene from Pulp Fiction, where one guy shoots his gun and only hits the wall behind Vincent Vega and Jules Winfield, aka John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson. That will be you in Warzone, and we both know what happened next. So how do you ADS with a FINN chainsaw? Well, you can't, at least not in a conventional way. The best way to show you this is by attaching a tack laser, which you will need anyway in our loadout because of the 44 milliseconds reduction on the ADS time. So, when I attach this laser and I press the button to ADS with the other guns, then the crosshair will disappear and you will now only get the laser to aim with. That is what they call ADS with a chainsaw. And this is what you should be doing, because the hipfire is so terrible that you will feel like the guy in Pulp Fiction. An added benefit of the laser is that your bullet pattern will become tighter, and you will get a better aiming stability and aim mocking steadiness. Since we can't ADS like with the other guns, we don't have any use for a scope or sight. Or do we? Let's do some myth busting and let's find out. The best sight is of course the VLK. Do you think it will change something? The answer is very simple. Nope, it won't change a thing. So no effect on the bullet pattern. In addition to the VLK, I also tried out all the muzzle attachments we have access to. The only one that stood out is the compensator, because this one will make your bullet pattern smaller, as you can see here. The only downside is a small 4 milliseconds penalty on the ADS time. Just for the record, the compensator is not absolutely necessary. I will explain why at the end of the loadout section. You still have a very important decision to make. Which barrel are you gonna be using? I heard a lot of different opinions in the comments on the first Chainsaw Massacre video, which you can check out over here. Some guys told me I was wrong with my selection, and they were right, but for the wrong reasons. I went for the XRK Longshot Adverse, and I should have used the FTAC VC8 Harrier Adverse. In the comments I was told not to use the Longshot Adverse because of the penalty on the hipfire, but that never mattered, because you should never hipfire with that gun and you will end up like the guy in Pulp Fiction. So when you ADS, even though the ADS is a little bit weird, you will not suffer from that penalty. So that is not the reason why you shouldn't use the Longshot Adverse. The real reason is the time to kill, and I will prove that to you. The Longshot Adverse has one amazing advantage. The muzzle velocity is insane. The factory Adverse has a muzzle velocity of 648 meters per second. The Longshot Adverse has 1385, which is more than double. The problem is the penalty on the ADS time, 51 milliseconds longer. The Harrier on the other side has an improvement on the ADS time of 25 milliseconds, but it has a slower bullet velocity of 547 meters per second. So the question is, which one is better? If I calculate the actual time to kill at 16 meters and I include everything like before, then the Harrier will need 509 milliseconds to kill and the Longshot needs 492 milliseconds to kill. But the ADS time difference is 76 milliseconds, and the 17 milliseconds better time to kill cannot outweigh that benefit. The Harrier does have shorter damage drop-off points, but compared to the factory you will only lose 2.5 meters, and the difference in time to kill after the damage drop-off point is only 60 milliseconds for head and chest shots, and no change to stomach or limbs, up to 32 meters. So the ADS time cost is almost the same now as the benefit in time to kill over that small range increase of 7.5 meters, because the Longshot's drop-off point only occurs at 25.5 meters. So in essence, we're talking about 1 milliseconds difference over a range of 7.5 meters. But if your opponent is closer to you, you will still have to deal with the ADS penalty of the Longshot, and now the Harrier will outperform the Longshot. So overall, you're better off going for the Harrier. You could argue that the Longshot gets better with range, and yes, you're right, but using the chainsaw at those distances does not make sense at all, because you will miss most of your shots anyway. Just to give an example, if you would hit all of your shots at 50 meters, so after the final drop of points for both barrels, you will need 751 milliseconds to kill with the Harrier and 696 with the Longshot for head and chest shots, a difference of 55 milliseconds. And you still have to deal with the 76 milliseconds slower ADS time, so the Longshot is definitely not better. Why don't we just stick to the factory Adverse? The answer is very simple. The difference in time to kill at 16 meters is 4 milliseconds in favor of the factory, but the Harrier has a better ADS time of 25 milliseconds, and that outweighs the 4 milliseconds. The same is valid at 50 meters with a time to kill advantage of 14 milliseconds, so the 25 milliseconds ADS time still prevails. So we have our barrel, our muzzle, our laser and our stock. We can't use the underbarrel because it's blocked by the stock and the ammunition does not make any sense. But we still have one slot open. So the only thing we can do that makes sense is to go for sleight of hand, which gives you an improvement of 1.432 seconds, which is pretty nice. And that completes our loadout, based on facts and stats. And yes, it shreds people in Warzone, in case you were wondering. As you can see, based on everything you learned so far about the FINN chainsaw, you could go without the compensator, like we discussed before, and not use one slot. But there's nothing else you can do to improve the situation. The only thing that now makes sense is the compensator, because the 4 milliseconds penalty is incredibly small and probably not even noticeable. But the bullet pattern is definitely better. And there we have it. We have our loadout. The basic bullet pattern looks like this, pretty much all over the place, and this is with ADS. The basic bullet pattern with our best loadout looks like this, much better than before, tighter and smaller. Compensating for it is very easy and you will end up with a nice cluster of shots. Remember, you just fired 75 bullets at the wall with the FINN chainsaw light machine gun. Thanks to the faster ADS time and our loadout, we can now sort of eliminate the ADS time altogether. Because if you press your ADS and your trigger button at the same time, you will still end up with a nice cluster of shots. Meaning that you can easily start shooting at the same time you ADS and you'll be hitting your opponent in short to medium range firefights. Okay gentlemen, this is everything you need to know about the FINN LMG for Call of Duty Warzone. As you know, the likes, shares, comments and definitely the subs are incredibly important to me. So if you have a second, would it be possible to help out please? This was Fog of Gaming, thanks for watching and I will see you in Warzone.